Do the annual meeting called meeting to order. Approval of the minutes of February 3rd, 2021. Motion? Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Old business, confirmation of officers. Jack, who are the officers?
Vin Gilroy is the chairman. Mark Curley is the vice chairman. John Buffa, who is not here, is the treasurer. Emmett Martin is the secretary, and John Zagrelli is our sergeant at arms.
Right. Can I get a motion to confirm the officers? Unless somebody wants this job.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
No volunteers?
Ratification. Yeah. What's that? You want it, Linda?
No. Thank you. You do such a great job.
Ratification of action taken by the UIDA in 2021. Anything you want to add to that, Jack, or we just want?
No, we just go.
Motion to approve everything we've done?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Any new business? I think so. No executive session. Motion to adjourn?
Make the motion to adjourn.
Second. Mark,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Okay.
Want to go to the regular meeting or you want to
I'm
go?
writing as fast as I can.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Approval of the minutes, January 12th. That should be 2022, right? Should- Or March 2020. Yeah.
Yes,
Backwards.
yes, correct.
Get motion to approve. Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Old business, Jack. You want to go? to new
Yes.
business?
Yeah,
Let's go start
yeah, we're
with
gonna go right to, new
No
business.
more with the fears here.
So, okay, Tyler is with us today. The project is Sturgis Manufacturing over on Sunset. As you know, they have their building, they have the bowling alley that they purchased and renovated a number of years ago. And they are coming to us for sales tax exemption for an expansion project of approximately 10,000 square foot. And then new equipment to be purchased. And so the sales tax exemption is pretty much just for the construction materials and perhaps some non-manufacturing equipment, as most manufacturing equipment is tax exempt. So
Right.
Tyler, describe the project and then, any questions that arise.
Yeah, so back in '97, we purchased the Sunset Bowling Alley and we moved all of our weaving operation over there. And since that, we've really reinvented the way we do business. We don't do a lot of the commodity products anymore. We're more of a specialty engineered performance webbing based or textile based company where all products need to be very compliant, which means they need to be made in the United States of America, from fiber sourcing all the way up through. So there's a new area that we're going into now. It's the parachute industry, which requires new machinery. So our plan is to take where we roll all of our goods now. We're going to fill that space with about 5 new, rather large rooms. And so all of our rolling and our warehousing, everything kind of gets pushed, and you can't go push it up against the wall. So what we would like to do is put on an addition where we would warehouse all of our yarn, raw materials, and so on. We looked at possibly going off-site down to Herkimer, and some of the other buildings around here in Utica, and we feel that the culture that we've created and the teamwork that we've built at Sturgis, that probably would not be a good idea to have, 4 or 5 people running a warehouse. Our manufacturing is up here. Over the last 9 years, we've won best places to work in New York State, 8 of the 9 years. So it's a real tight, knit community that we've built within our organization, and we just would like to keep everything on campus, up on Sunset. I don't know if that makes sense. That's all.
That makes.
That beats everybody going remote and
Pardon?
that beats everybody going remote and there is no camaraderie or business
Oh, I know.
like you created there. So
No, it's a very, our average, the team member that we have there, the average tenure is about 20 years. So people, they come in, and
They never leave.
no, they stay.
Good.
So
now where would you be building this? Are you connecting the bowling alley and the other? Or are you going behind yourself?
it'll connect to the 5,000 square feet will connect to the bowling alley, and they'll all be connected. And then the other 5,000 will just go out onto Arnold Ave. There's 2 lots.
Oh, okay.
the two vacant lots, and we would use that.
Right. Okay.
So the exemption.
How long have you been in business there? I remember walking by it as a kid, so it's at least 100 years old.
Yeah. It's, I think it's 113 years old now.
Wow.
Now, was it always in your family? Like your grandfather ran it and people, you know? that type of
No,
thing,
there was
or-
a gentleman, it was a group of people, doctors and lawyers that helped invest into the company to get it started in 1909. And that was a gentleman by the name of Henry Sturgis. He was the one that started the company. He worked there until, I think he passed away in 1931 or in the 30s he passed away. And another gentleman, Edwin Weiss, he took over as president. I think that was 1939. And he was my father's stepfather. My father, his father died when my father was like 3 or 4 years old. My grandmother remarried, and she married this gentleman, Edwin Weiss, in the 60s. And my father, he started working there in the 70s, 72. He retired in 2016. I started in 2002. So it's a family business, it's not a family business. It didn't start off as a family business, but just due to the nature of he was my grandfather. That's what I knew him as. It is what it is.
That's great.
That, I never
I
know.
remember a few years ago, I don't know which mayor it was, but we were gonna take Sturgis, put a fire station, we're consolidating the fire stations. Sturgis property was one of the ones we hit, so were you there then?
No, I wasn't there then. I can imagine that didn't go over too well though.
Good thing you did, right?
Yeah, no, I can imagine.
Sturgis did do well ever
Well,
since.
there was the bowling alley though.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we were taking Sturgis, but we were gonna be right there and was gonna affect Sturgis.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here today.
That's why I got this, yeah. I don't know if it was during Polina or.
No, I wasn't there for that.
There's always been those talks of consolidating over there
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's when they were gonna start closing some fire stations,
Yeah.
build new ones.
Yep. All right. Anybody else got any other further questions? Are we inducing today?
We are, yes.
Okay.
And again, this is just for the sales tax. Construction is expected to take, I believe, from somewhere around in April. That's why I want to try to get you into this meeting if you're going to hit the ground running in April. And the project should be done by around September or so. We're hoping, expecting.
Okay. So we're looking at inducing for the sales tax and the seeker resolution relating
And
to
seeker,
the
yeah.
project, correct?
Yeah.
Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second? John, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good luck.
Okay, I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
for
you.
fitting us in this morning.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Hearing our case.
I'll follow up with you and then, the attorneys will do their thing.
Okay, perfect. You're all set with me then.
Mhm.
That's why I'm trying to get you in, get you out.
All right.
Okay, very good. Appreciate it. Nice to
Yeah.
meet you all.
You too.
Look,
Say hello to your
Yes,
father
thank
for
you.
me.
I will.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Old business, 1002 Oswego Street.
Okay, we're here to consider a final authorizing resolution relating to the 1002 Oswego Street LLC facility, approving financial assistance in the form of sales and use tax exemptions, approximate value of $218,750, mortgage recording, tax exemptions, estimated at $18,750, and real property tax abatement, estimated at $149,769,000. Which is a deviation from the agency's uniform tax exemption policy, and authorizing the form and execution of related documents subject to council review.
Which project is the 1002? Is this the?
This is,
Auto parts, place?
Pardon me?
The property with the auto parts?
Correct. So you have the auto parts, and then you have Pugliese and
Mhm.
Orkin in one corner, and then you have UCP.
Yep.
The original project, well, we had induced about a little over a year ago, was for the auto parts was going to operate in a separate building, 21,000 square foot outside, and then they were going to remodel the inside of the main building for UCP. After a while, it flip-flopped so that UCP is going to have the building itself and then still operate in the main building, but then they're reworking the space for the auto parts. They have to some degree already. They've
Mhm.
put some additional wall. I don't know who goes in there, but I do. so there's additional walls and stuff in there already, so.
Okay. All right. Can I, get a motion for the final authorization resolution? Second? Comment?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? So moved. Carbone?
Okay,
The gym?
correct. So, in working through, with the company for, their annual report and just the reporting that they need to do with me, for, the ST60s, they're forms that, keep track of the, sales tax that each of the individual, contractors, subcontractors, anybody that purchases materials or equipment, needs to have an ST60 filed with New York State. So in going through that process, we learned that the project had overrun. And if you read the letter that was sent out, I believe I had sent out a letter to you.
Mhm.
They were looking at basically an indoor doggy daycare. So that tenant pulled out, and then they said, well, we'll redevelop the space for offices. So the cost overrun was associated with primarily with that. So they went over, and again, according to the letter, let's see here, sorry. They went over the amount of sales tax by $52,613.28. So what they are requesting through their letter is an increase in the sales tax. Otherwise, we've got to go back to them to claw back the 52,000 and change. So because it was an unforeseen, instance. There's documentation here from the contracting entity to back up the numbers. So again, what they're looking to do is increase that, not an extension of the time. They were done in time, but of that $52,613.28.
Pretty big mess.
It was. That equates to be like $770,000, I believe, as far as an increase again in the taxes. So in the packet that I would have sent you, there was a side by side, just kind of showing. So while the numbers don't necessarily pan out for the 770, you also have labor that's not taxable. So then that makes up that difference in the construction.
Who was the architect?
The group that they used was C2C.
That's Dave
With
Platt.
Dave. Yeah, Dave Kleps. He was an estimator for many, many years with Gaetano. And then they just kind of spun this piece out because it just kind of got big enough to almost stand on it alone on its own, outside of the construction company for,
Anything?
We don't need a hearing because it's under 100,000.
What's that? Oh, we don't need a hearing?
correct.
No, it's under 100.
Yeah, I think we would have approved it if it had been the original.
Initially?
Yeah,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
so I don't,
Yeah, motion to approve the increase?
I'll move this.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. 68 Genesee Street. I have to I'm pushing myself away from the table and
Okay. What? Cover your ears.
So again, in your packet, the 268 building entity has come to us. I previously talked with everybody about this, and so we're just basically here to ratify it at this time.
They're just looking for more time, right?
Correct. A lot because of the obviously the COVID and some work items that weren't. They extended in the past, but the items that they have, as you'll see here, exterior, they need to do it during the summertime.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a parking lot, some exterior renovations, roofing, facade work, and signage is what they plan on doing with that extra time. And they are well within their, the amount of sales tax that we had provided based on what they put in the original application.
Okay.
Motion,
I'll make a motion.
second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. One more, what do we got, ABL?
So we had received, the state had sent out an email, pardon me, and letter stating that they have done I'll say review or an audit of every IDA in the state. So there were a number of items that they picked up on or identified that we need to address on our website in order to be compliant. I sat down with Laura, worked through the list, kind of addressed what we needed to, and I've made some changes on there already. But then because I'm basically I do this stuff by myself, we requested an extension out till May 15th in order for me to gather the items, make the changes. So some of the major things, pardon me, if you look through the list, the resolution, so the inducement resolution, the final resolution, application materials, all need to be on the website for each project. So we have approximately 32 projects. So I'll be having to get this stuff prepared, make probably another page and I do the website for us, at least our stuff. So I'll probably be making another page listing out every project and listing all these items below with it. So there are some other items that are on there. If you don't have it in front of you, I apologize. But number 4, and this is something that Laura and myself had talked about a little bit to just let you guys know that these are things that are coming along. So appointment dates in terms of the board members is not really an issue, but board members' employment and professional background needs to be on there. So I'm just, an accountant, retired insurance, retired engineer, attorney, banker. So, I'm going to try to keep it as brief as possible. And then executive team background and qualifications for myself. So I'll have to, mini resume or something like that. So we're working through here. Some new policies need to be put together. So we'll be bringing those to you probably at the May meeting because it'll be toward the beginning of the month. And then it gives Laura and myself throughout April in order to put some of these documents together, round things out, get information from you if I need to as far as background stuff. So again, basically we have our extension and Laura and I will be working through it, just trying to get everything that we can up onto the website.
It was a lot, and I thought your letter reply was very good. But there was one item, I can't think of it, where you were saying, I don't even understand what you want here.
It might have been for the packages because all of the agenda items, so the letters from Carbone, the letter from from 268, the financials, I don't put these in a packet, but I put them just for you to review. So there are some clarification, and that's part of what April will represent is just kind of Laura and Linda have some scrubbing down to do. Are these best practices or are these actually written in law? So they had sent me an email just the other day saying, we received your letter. These are some points that you need to make and some clarifications that we didn't understand in the letter. So there's a little guidance there, but then then just to notify me that I have the extension. So, thank you to Laura and to Linda for, putting that letter together, but then working with me on this and getting good clarifications.
It's just a general more oversight on the IDAs all over the place.
Yeah, it's funny because, for example, in this office, there's the urban renewal in Harbor Point. Well, I do the reporting and everything for them. I do all the Paris, I do the website stuff, but there's no mention of any of these other authorities having to do any of this stuff. We're the only group. called out specifically where we have to video stream. So every time, I mean, if you look on the TV, if I was hooked up, there's video streaming. So we have to live stream all of our meetings all the time, public hearings included, but the Urban Renewal Agency doesn't, UCDC doesn't, the Harbor Point doesn't. So it is kind of calling us out, any projects that other people do. We've mentioned prevailing wage that is involved with projects now. We're dealing with it on Harbor Point for businesses that are coming to the IDA for assistance. So you're going to preclude a lot of, or lessen what projects potentially are as we go down the road, because prevailing wage can add 20 to 30% on any given project. So there are certain carve-outs for that. Housing projects like we've done, like Obelston, they probably, it's a $60 million project. They probably won't have to do much with the prevailing wage because they're using low income housing tax credits. It's an HFA project. So some of those are carve-outs that they have, for projects, which makes sense, but it's still, you're calling the IDAs out in particular, which
There's
is one of
still,
the best tools.
there still is a lack of information about implementation of the prevailing wage. And the sad thing, what a lot of IDAs are talking about, and I don't think this was intended, but whatever the cost is of prevailing wage, talking about just increasing the benefits. So making the pilot longer or giving a better pilot or something. So it's going to end up coming out of taxing jurisdictions. It's just not well thought out. And implementing it
I'm sorry.
happened because, what is it, Laura? They have to establish a board to issue regulations, and the board hasn't even been established yet.
That's correct.
That's correct. Yeah.
So,
And to Linda's point, if the threshold, so there's two basic thresholds. One is the project over 5 million? If it is, then is the public benefit that goes into it. So you have, it could be a loan from Jack Spath here. It could be the CFA project, through New York State. It could be the IDA. Well, if you're past 30% of public benefit into a project, then that definitely kicks that trigger of using prevailing wage. But if you're past 30, then then to Linda's point, if you've got to try to, help the company to make up that 20 to 30%, then you go from 30 to 50, and who cares now? So then to the pilot, instead of 0%, for so long, maybe you're giving 0% for 5 years instead of just 1 or 2.
but the bottom line is the municipalities are going to, and schools are going to end up paying this,
Right.
Definitely.
but
Okay. Any
Anyway.
questions on the ABO?
Yep.
All right, motion to adjourn this, then we'll do the.
Yeah, I'll
you got
just
something
make a quick note. The Cooperstown EDC conference is coming up in May. They just sent us the registration and hotel information. Again, I encourage my board, whoever has the last weekend, or I think it's 25th, 6th, and 7th of May available, or any one of those dates, please, I'd encourage you to come. There's great sessions, case studies, the latest on the prevailing wage, the latest on the ABO actions that are, of anything that's going on. So they are educational from that standpoint, and you kind of get to see, some of your counterparts from other parts of the state. So,
Jack, I'll go.
again, you're going to go?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put you down right here.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Just, I am working, I just received an application for Art Space, which was going to be up on Genesee Street, right in the Stanley parking lot, but they switched that because of the public outcry, I suppose, and they're putting it out onto Park. So I just received that application, and so I'll be reviewing that within the next short time. Annual reports are all in. Obviously, we have the ABO stuff that we actually need to do that here. I don't have it on the agenda, but that's something we need to.
Is that space going in the parking lot back there behind the restaurant?
Correct.
Okay.
Right. So they'll,
Probably better spot
so,
for it anyways.
You mean in that open field?
correct, yeah.
Infinitely better.
The apartment, wasn't it?
Isn't that parking lot back there?
No.
Used to be.
Oh, used to be, yeah.
Yeah, it probably was. I mean, but it seems like it's been grassed for a long time.
Heck, I thought apartments were going in over there.
I think it does have
Well,
apartments.
that's what our space is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, it is
Put it on Genesee Street, take
Right,
all that
then
parking.
now it's going
Yeah.
behind San.
correct, right, because it was taking too much of the parking lot from the Stanley,
And
in particular, but then there was
Trucks
just.
carrying the props for big shows couldn't access the docks. It just was not well thought out. So,
Right.
very that it moved.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
No, we have to, I sent you all the public authority.
Let me adjourn this.
No, I'm not. I sent you all the public authority documents. So there's the annual report, investment report, procurement report, the investment policy, procurement policy, operations and and accomplishments, mission and measurements, effectiveness of internal controls, and I think that should probably be it. So I had sent all of that information to you for the IDA as well as the UCDC. So you should have all that. So I would ask that Vin.
Anybody
ask
read
for a motion.
those? No, I mean.
You
at
all
the
read
state
them.
level.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, we read them, but I mean, the state level, does anybody read that stuff?
They do. The ABO does come back to me with comments on the annual reports and just various projects and things that I put in there. So
No,
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
No, we read them, but they don't, you know.
Right.
It's a lot of information on all the IDAs, you know, you wonder.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And they don't have a ton of,
So you want a
auditors.
motion to approve all those reports?
Correct.
Okay, can I get a motion, approve the reports.
I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
All right.
Opposed?
I have compiled I threw a lot at you at this meeting because of the four that we're having and then the new business. But I compiled the jobs information. I'm waiting on a letter from somebody. Some of the numbers improved as far as the job creation goes. So I tried to scrub that down. So the next meeting should be, I think, April 6th, coming up in a couple weeks. So at that time, I'll present you with the jobs information and just again try to get the letters and stuff that I need from there, from the companies explaining why. So some of it is just the commercial space has not been developed in the building. So for example, McCardivan, that first floor is where the employment is really going to be created. It hasn't been developed. Same with lofts at Globe Mill, their commercial space has not been developed. So, and then 268, they're going through some construction stuff too. So now you can.
Motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now we gotta do the UCDC,
Yep.
call the meeting to order.
Yep, hold on.
Wait, how do you make it, Jay?
Yes, you are. Okay.
That's a lot of work.
I'm going to,
Wait, hang
Linda,
on. Is this the regular meeting or the annual meeting?
we are going to go through the annual meeting and the regular meeting for the UCDC,
No,
but I
no.
set them up on
Which one are you
Go ahead.
doing?
annual.
Okay.
Okay, so just, I sent out two different, or maybe I didn't. So just, we're just gonna keep going, and then I'm just gonna share have the video on for both, so.
Okay. All right, call the annual meeting together to order, approval of the minutes, February 3rd, 2021. Motion,
I'll move to approve the minutes.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Old business, are the officers the same?
Correct. All the officers that I listed for the IDA are the same for the UCDC.
Okay. Motion to confirm the officers,
Make a motion.
second.
One second.
All in favor? Opposed? So moved. Ratification of any actions, we didn't take any.
There were no action items taken, so.
So do you need a motion on that, or we just?
Uh,
note in the
probably
minutes? Okay. New business, none. Executive session, none. Adjourn, motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Okay, and we'll call the regular meeting to order. Approval of the minutes, February 3rd, 2021.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Oh, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so move. Old business, Jack.
No old business. I have not really, when we first started the UCDC, we had a few businesses, a few not-for-profits that were looking to expand, and that's why we created the UCDC. But past then, they kind of fell off and found other avenues or capitalize their projects. So at this time, I really have nothing, but I do have to still do the Paris reporting. So that's one of the things is the public authority stuff.
Okay. All right,
So resolution to,
we need a resolution to adopt the
yes.
documents?
Correct.
Okay. Get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. New business?
No, I would just encourage that the board members and whoever's out there to, if you're dealing with a not-for-profit, you sit on the board. If they do need some bonding, some tax exempt bonds, then for a project, then to give us a call and we'll help where we can.
Okay. No executive session? Can I adjourn?
You can.
Motion to adjourn?
Yes, Linda.
Bye.
Oh, bye.
Take care.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
What kind of projects on the nonprofit side are we looking at? Just thinking of Notre Dame. And do we have an issue with Notre Dame because we're Catholic?